Through my paperwork, we've got Bears and Formula Sports. Still a healthy field, 2, 4, 6 fours, 24, 26 bikes, and on pole position. That looks to me like Ashley Payne there. Steve Bridge, 294 there in second spot, and trying to work out who that is, 74 on third. 74 on third, it's not listed here as who's who, so 74 is indeed Malcolm Belsky there. They're off into turn one. Oh, look at the lead the leader's got there, but it didn't pay back because they just overshot that corner and run wide, but they managed to pull it back in. Now, who is that bike? Is that Ashley Payne, I think? Just trying to recognise the colours. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So a decent field there. It's Bears Formula Sports. It's in the program as Formula Sports Bears, but it's the Bears bikes where they bought some of the slower other Formula 1 and Formula 2 bikes into the Bears. The top bikes are usually Bears out in this class, so it meant both classes were surviving. There was oversubscription in the Formula 1 and Formula 2, particularly at Wanganui, and less Bears coming along, so that's why they chose to breed it in there. Yeah, as long as you keep it. That's all right, not now. So, yeah, the Suzuki, is that a Suzuki Swift there? Going around checking the track. This has got medics in for the for the incident that might happen on the first lap, and it's just a common thing you see all around the world. I went to the MotoGP in Australia, and there was a hell of a cool sounding, I'm not really into cars, but this thing was cool. BMW floating around. I thought the way it was set up with lights and that, they must take that all round with them rather than have one picked up in each and every country. So they do the same thing at a lot of race meetings, and it's first response crews in there, and they'll pull off. Yeah, look at them, they've pulled off on the infield there. They've sorted themselves out. So right now a 6-lap race for the Bears Formula Sport. Who's that out there in the front? That's Steve Bridge, followed by Ashley Payne. The Ducati of Steve Bridge, 294, Ashley Payne, the number 72 machine here in second spot there. Brad Ritchie's back?
Yep, I am back, and awesome to see Steve Bridge. He is a real racing legend in this country, and F1 engineering team. See Jared Love, the Love Machine. Got to say hi to the Love Machine out there, looking well. And he is part of the F1 engineering team this weekend, so good to see Steve Bridge out there doing it. Ashley Payne, he has qualified well and got away to a great start as well. Great to see Ash Payne out there. Malcolm Belsky, he's running top 3 at the moment. Dwayne Bishop, Wanganui man there in 4th place. Richard Markham Barrett, he's on a triumph this campaign. He's in 5th place, and then we go to Stephen Bates. That's our top 6 at the moment. So some awesome racing here. Bears and Formula Sport, brought to you by Q West Boat Builders in Wanganui. And this is going to be a brilliant 6-lapper. Already the top 2 are flying at the moment.
So we're way off lap record time, and the simple reason for that is Sloane Frost still has that, and he put in a strong performance way back in 2017. Sloane Frost did the Formula Sports Bears. You know, like sometimes you get the national championship, people come in there on the right Bears bikes and can do that. So we're a few seconds off that. I think there's going to be some lap records go today. Brad, you've got your eye on that more than me. You've been watching the qualifying times.
Yeah, definitely looking in the F1 class. Damon Rees under the 126 mark for the first time that I've ever seen around Taupo. So we're going lap record hunting for sure when we go F1 racing. That's still held by Jaden Hassan from about 4 or 5 years ago. So that's going to be brilliant to see what we can do in the F1 class. But at the racing at the moment, it is still the legendary Steve Bridge with Ash Payne. Second place, and we go to Malcolm Belsky. It's good to see Malcolm running top 3 Spider.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he's been around for a wee while, but it is good to see him really in that top 3. And of course, it's early days in the Suzuki Series. Absolutely sensational, really.
We're going back to the update there. Steve Bridge, Ash Payne, Malcolm Belsky. That's our top 3. We've got Dwayne Bishop there on the Aprilia. He is in 4th place. Richard Markham Barrett. Mark Perry, he's a legend. He's had wins around Cemetery Circuit and Bears Racing. So Mark Perry in the top 6. Stephen Bates and Jason Bardell on the BMW S1000 RR. Rounding out your top 8. Terry Moran in there with Colin McGregor and Jason Lamb, Stephen Leggett. And we go to look at the man in 13th, Morgan Govion. On the Voxen Spider. That's quite an impressive machine, and he's brought that over from France for us to have a look at, the V-Twin 1000cc Voxen.
Govion, so you've gone up to him and talked to him about how you pronounce it?
Yeah, met him and Manu, the owner of the bike, come over here, and they love in New Zealand, so big welcome to them.
We had a Manu out here with, I was going to say Big Ted, to be honest, with Horse Saiga a few years ago. I don't even know it's the same guy. They live in the same. Hey, look, we're going to have a change of position for the lead. These 2 bikes in the lead, Steve Bridge versus Ash Payne. Steve Bridge on the big V-twin Ducati, Ash Payne on what's really effectively a Formula 3 bike. I think, is this a 600cc bike? Or is this the 600 that's been chopped into the 3-cylinder machine there, Brad Ritchie? Rock of them right on each other. We've still got 4 laps to go, but right on each other. Can't quite hear the differential, but they've certainly got a country mile over and above third place there, who's Malcolm Belsky. Dwayne Bishop goes through there. Richard, no, that's Mark Perry, so he's got ahead of Richard and Markham Barrett. In fact, I think we've lost Richard Markham Barrett somewhere, possibly. He's dropping down. Yeah, Richard Markham Barrett on the Triumph has dropped down. Maybe he's gone through in 10th, so that to me is classic overshooting sort of movement on the thing. You can have bike breakages, but that looks like it's a overshoot somewhere. Didn't quite catch up where it was, as we see number 88 goes through there. There's all sorts of bikes. 47 now. Who's 47? Is that possibly? No, it's Paul Jenkins. I thought that's a number that Glenn Scatchell sometimes runs. Incredible racing already, you know, and it's good to see the weather stay. I felt some spits in the paddock earlier on, and it just wasn't me eating a sandwich and doing it to myself. It's I don't know what the weather's going to do tomorrow, Brad Ritchie, but right now we've got what's in front of us, and the tight 2 bikes at the front. They've disappeared out of sight, but I'd say there's less than 10 bikes linked between first and second, Steve Bridge and Ashley Payne from Wanganui. Steve Bridge from the Hamilton. They come on to the long straight there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely flying. I think it might just about be a change of position. I think they're almost side by side as they go down the back straight. So it'll be into the flip-flop that we'll see it for the first time. And it looks like under brakes it might still be Steve Bridge. He's got the darker fairings on the 294. Ash Payne got the smaller bike. It's written down here as a Suzuki GSX 750. And around the outside, Ash
that's
Payne,
right.
what a move. So there we go. Ashley Payne will take the lead as they cross the line. There's 2 laps to go in this one, Spider.
Yeah, GSXR 750 does ring a bell. Yes, indeed, it does. Yeah, he has been very, very proficient on a Formula 3 bike, which is a 600 with a cylinder chopped off. But now, yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. You've read the book and I haven't.
So the update going through. Ash Payne is ahead of Steve Bridge, but there's not a lot in it. There's less than 0.2 of a second as they go around turn 4. And as Bridgie got the hind legs of that twin-cylinder Ducati. Brilliant to watch that as they go around there. Malcolm Belsky, a lonely old ride in 3rd place, but doing a wonderful job. He's lapping in the 135s and very consistent. Then Dwayne Bishop, if he got a better start, he'd be right in the mix. He's definitely hanging in there, 4th place. Mark Perry's managed to get himself into 5th. Stephen Bates and Jason Bardell, 6th and 7th. Terry Moran and Colin McGregor still 8th and 9th. Richard Markham Barrett seems to have held firm in 10th, so you might be right, Spider. Maybe an overshoot, maybe a missed gear, something like that. Richard Markham Barrett doesn't look to have too much bike troubles, finding himself in 10th place at the moment.
It's that sort of thing rattles your head, even a missed gear. It rattles with your head. There's Graham Billington out there. Billy's towards the tail end, but it's great to see our former road race commissioner run around there on a Triumph machine in the Bears Formula Sport on the number 27 machine. So he's got the green leathers there towards the tail end of the field, but still out there having a good time. So fastest lap of 1:32.723, 1:33.068 for the first and second. 1:35.157. So they're both 2 guys out in the front are still on their setting their fastest lap after lap there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, Ashley Payne just about ran too hot into the flip-flop, but managed to pull it up nicely and white flag out. So 1 lap to go. So the shootout, Steve Bridge and Ash Payne, it's going to be on here. We've gone to 3 race weekends for this round and the next round at Manfield. So the points aren't so vital, but Steve Bridge, he's been a long-time legendary racer. He's going to want to win this fun for sure. So Ash Payne leading Steve Bridge, but there's still nothing in that fight at the moment. Malcolm Belsky rounding out your podium. Dwayne Bishop and Mark Perry 4 and 5. Jason Bardell and Stephen Bates in 6th and 7th. But there's some great battles all over this Bears and Formula Sport race here at the moment. Spider on our last lap.
Yeah, well, you've definitely got a mix of bikes out here. You've got twin cylinders, 4 cylinders, and triples and all that. You've got I don't think there's any 2-strokes out there. Can't hear any 2-strokes. We do have our earmuffs on there that restrict that sort of effort, but certainly there's some great battles all the way through, and it's going to be awesome for the rest of the series. And this is only one of the smaller fields here, so where are those lead 2 bikes? Actually, they should be just about round out of sight at the moment.
Yeah,
I can see a truck up that way.
Turn 11 coming out and joining onto the back straight. So we can see 2 bikes, the silhouette there.
It's Ashley Payne in the front there. You got it, mate. You got it, Brad.
Yeah, Ashley Payne, he is into the flip-flop. Under brakes. Steve Bridge seems to have that F1 Engineering Ducati well on the brakes, but Ashley Payne just got to get through the flip-flop neat and tidy. Steve climbs right on the back wheel, but Ashley Payne looks to have done that pretty clean. Out of turn 14. Oh, big moment for Ash Payne. He's had a big moment coming on the gas, and Steve Bridge is going to steal it. Steve Bridge manages to pip him right at the line, and what a race for that. And just a bit hungry on the gas, Ashley Payne, and lit the back wheel up.
Well, maybe it's commentator's curse. I'd already written down first and second, and as you said, it had changed, so I've had to cross that out. So sorry about the crossing on the result sheets, but so in third place, it was Malcolm Belsky on the 74 machine. Great effort there. It was still running around with other bikes here on the track, of course. We got into third place there. Dwayne Bishop, Mark Perry, Jason Bardell from Wanganui there on the 49 machine on the Das Beast, the BMW S1000R, as is Stephen Bates on the 14 machine, BMW S1000R. Terry Moran there on the ZX10. That's a creditable result for Terry Moran on the 82 bike. ZX10, Richard Barkham Barrett wound his way back up into 9th after being right up there in the top 3 sort of region. Then we got Colin McGregor.
That's a jump start penalty for Steve Bridge, so we lose 10 seconds on that one.
Okay, so where's the jump start written down? We got a jump start penalty. Okay, it's not on our screen. Okay, apparently there was a jump start for Steve Bridge, so we're going to have to, these are provisional results only, so that'll be a third for Dwayne Bishop. So J start, jump start. We don't have that stuff on our screen, but we've had it from the officials, but anything we say now is only provisional, of course. There's up to 30 minutes to protest and that sort of thing. So he might want to review his footage and just say, well, okay, what's going on here? But that's up to the officials. We're just the people bringing you the story. We'll do our best. Thank you, Brad, for pointing that out.